everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are having an absolutely amazing day. If you're new here, hi, I'm Liz, aka My Pastel Past, and I do a lot of Animal Crossing and cozy game content here on YouTube. Now, if you're thinking, hey Liz, your intro video is a little bit different than normal. We don't see your character smiling and waving at us like we normally do. And you would be right. Unfortunately, I tried to record all of this footage in the background during Wednesday's stream, and sadly, as my luck would have it, that footage got corrupted again. So I had to download everything from the YouTube stream I did and then edit down that entire video, which was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be, but also an interesting learning experience. So who knows, maybe I'll try editing more of my videos and streams in the future. So maybe not. But today's video, I am so excited to bring you all. It is a speed build, it's kind of wonky, I'm not gonna lie, of a shopping district per se for my Pinkcore Island. And I say it's a little wonky just because of how many cuts and edits I had to do throughout this video, simply because it was a live stream. There were times where I was pausing and talking to chat and going off and finding materials, and it was something else, let me tell you. Editing this video during this voiceover, it was an experience. Definitely a big learning experience, learned a lot from it. And now I will hopefully be able to do it better in the future because I did have fun editing this. However, I did not have as much fun editing this as I did building it. And that is because I love building. I was gonna make a joke there, and then it completely left my mind. ADHD at its finest. Yes, I am recording this at 10 p.m. at night, so this might be all over the place, but you know what? Let's just embrace the chaos and go with it. Let's see if I even keep this up until tomorrow. But I get to finally use some of more pink items on this island. Why on earth have I left doing a pastel core island this long? I have no idea. But here we are doing it. I got my fountain, as always. I don't know why. I feel like I always have to use fountains in my... If I'm doing like a shopping district or any kind of like sitting area, I always have to use a fountain. Kind of sad it's not pink, but you know what? Maybe that's a good thing because I have pink everywhere else. Almost blindingly pink. But I am using the iron garden chairs and tables. I think they look really nice. I used to not be a fan of these. I used to like the natural garden tables more, but these are starting to grow on me, especially with my Pinkcore. I think the white on these tables look really nice. It also almost looks a little bit like lace to me. I know it's not. I know it's just the design of the iron on it, but it kind of looks like lace, and I kind of dig that. I think it looks really cute. But at this point, I'm just trying to get as many chairs and tables in as I possibly could. And when I started this video, or I guess this stream, I should say, I 100% thought that I had too much iron, that I wouldn't need it all. But by the end of the video, I did not have nearly enough. I needed a lot more. So it was a very tight squeeze, but we somehow managed to get it through to the very end, and I really like how it turned out. This is a very interesting island for me personally because it's very out of my comfort zone. Pink and pastel is very much my aesthetic. However, I've never done something with so many bunny day items and pastel items and no terraforming. I'm trying to really challenge myself with this island to go out of my comfort zone. And by that, I mean, if you've seen my past Elegant Princess Core Island, that island was heavily terraformed. I think I spent more time terraforming that island than I did decorating it. And that's because I added in the sunken gardens and the waterfalls and the cliff sides and all of it. And obviously I will be adding some of that to this island because it's kind of part of who I am. When I decorate, I love adding those aspects, but I didn't want to have this island be overrun with them the way previous islands have. So far in all of my builds, I've only terraformed once, and that would be the entrance for this island. And I only terraformed in that one because I was trying to create like a building around 2 villager houses. If you're interested in seeing that video, I will leave it down below. That also, as a side note for that, I have edited that build since then. I got rid of some of the what are they called? Stalls, I think they are, and added in storefronts instead. I'll hopefully be posting a photo of it soon. I'm just not really good at taking photos of my builds. I don't know why. I just can't seem to figure that out. They never look right. So hopefully I'll update a photo and post that on my Instagram or Twitter, or probably both, so that y'all can see what I've changed. But this area is just going to be like a really big seating area. The way I kind of envisioned this build was like an outdoor mall. I don't know if many places have those, but you know, when you walk from like store to store, a strip mall, I think that's what they're called, but like strip malls or outdoor malls, when you walk from store to store and there's seating outside, and sometimes there's like a little cafe or a restaurant. That's kind of what I was basing this off of. Because of the nature of this island and me trying to limit my terraforming, I wanted to kind of combine like a city district almost. So I'm going to have my Able Sisters and my Nook's Cranny right next to each other. As you can see, I do have a shed, or not like a shed, a storage thingy. I'm not sure. The pink thing on the road that holds all of my items that I keep running back to constantly. It's kind of blocking a path there. That path is eventually going to lead down to the museum. So I'm trying to create like this little district of sorts. Today I'm just working on the shopping area. I'll make an entirely different video on the museum in the near future, so keep an eye out for that. But that's kind of what I'm going with this build, and as an island as a whole. So it's going to be interesting and almost a little terrifying for me personally. This is so far out of my comfort zone, and I know I've said that a lot, but it really is. So I'm both proud of myself and absolutely terrified for how this all is going to go. But at the same time, I'm having so much fun with it. Being able to step out of my comfort zone is what I like most about it, I think. I love being able to just experiment and have fun and see what works and doesn't work, and it also gives me a different perspective on builds. I find that when I stick to my comfort style, which is this terraforming, waterfall, landscaping, it just starts to repeat itself, so having the chance to try something new is really helpful for me personally, because then I just get to kind of learn from my experiences and try new things. I feel like I've said that a lot so far tonight, just constantly repeating try new things, but you know what, it's fine. This video is chaotic in the recording of it originally, from the video being corrupted to me downloading the YouTube VOD to me doing this voiceover. Do people call that VODs? Is that just a Twitch thing? Let me know in the comments. Dear YouTube community, do you still call your leftover streams VODs, or is that just a Twitch thing? I have no idea. I'm still very new to the whole YouTube aspect of this also. I'm learning with all of you. But at this point, I've kind of gotten like the seating down. This area is not going to be functional in the slightest. I'm trying to make it very compact, a lot of items close together. So you might be able to sit in 1 or 2 seats, but some of the areas in the middle, you will not be able to access at all. I did think of possibly making it so there would be like, I don't know, is it half a grid square that you can kind of like slip into to sit on? But I've done that in the past. It felt very odd. I like how close together it is. Like, it still looks like it's functional without actually being functional, if that makes sense. Like in my mind, when I look at the seats, I think, oh yeah, you can totally squeeze in there and sit down. But in reality, with the dynamics of the game, we're not actually able to do that. So at this point, I've kind of gotten that one side finished. And now I just need to work on the other side with Nook's Cranny. So at this point, it's just kind of recreating what I've done on the left and now doing it on the right. However, an interesting thing for that is that I will have a lot more space to work with, just because I have a path leading from the bottom left into the shopping district, as well as up along the left hand side. I kind of have a lot of paths going around between my areas. I guess that's how I'm able to make them distinct from one another, or like cut them up, if that makes sense. Typically, I would do this using cliffs and terraforming and waterfalls, but because I'm trying to not do that, I have the joy of doing that with paths. So I wasn't able to make it as condensed and cozy as I would have wanted it to. Whereas here on the left-hand side, there's no path, there's no movement or movability within my island. It's just the beaches. And I'm still not exactly sure what I want to do with those beaches. So for right now, it gives me the option to just place as many chairs and tables as I want. However, as you can see from my inventory, I once again greatly underestimated the amount of materials I would need for this build. I have a really bad habit of doing that. I try my hardest to prep and make sure I have enough chairs and tables and materials. And of course, as soon as I start recording or I start streaming, I'm like, let's go do this build. My ideas immediately change and I realize I either don't have the materials I need or I don't have enough of them, which is what happened with this stream in particular. And if you are interested in watching the whole stream and seeing that fiasco happen, I'll link that in the description as well. That stream was very chaotic. I realized that I wanted to use these cherry blossom branches, but I didn't have any petals. Whoop-de-doo, look at that. I had an idea that came midstream and I wasn't prepared to execute it, so I spent a good 30 minutes, I think, of that stream just looking for petals alone. But that's the glory of YouTube. I'm able to cut all that out because no one wants to see me run around for petals. I mean, maybe you do. If you do, cool. I love you and I appreciate you. If you don't, I still love and I appreciate you. You all take your time out of your day to either watch this video or my streams. So all I can say is thank you for that, because time is something you can't get back. However, in this point in the video, all I'm thinking as I'm building this, from what I remember, is, oh my gosh, how am I supposed to fill this place up with chairs? Because I wanted it to wrap around the bottom right hand corner of this plaza. I wanted it chairs and tables all the way around. And all I'm thinking is that I'm running out of iron and materials for it, and how on earth I was supposed to make it look good, because it felt so repetitive and chaotic, but at the same time, it did turn out well in the end. Granted, there are a few things I probably would have changed as I was building that, and that would be adding things to the tables as I'm placing them. And that's just because, like I said before, a lot of these tables and chairs are not accessible the way they're placed. So that one table is right near the cherry blossom tree. I can't access that at all. Nor can I access the chairs that are there. You can't sit on them within the game physics or dynamics. I'm not sure what's the proper term to use there. So what I would have done to probably make this build a little prettier is I would have added things to those tables instead of placing them items on the tables at the very end. I have done that in previous builds and I just for some reason completely forgot to do it. For this build, I probably would have added things like teacups and maybe a little bit of stacked books, make it like a little reading nook, maybe even add a stall to the side, which I might still do. I'm not exactly sure what I want to do with my beaches. I don't always decorate my beaches, and that's just because they don't really feel like I can do very much with them. And that might just be because I love paths a lot, and you can't really place them on beaches as easily. Like, you can still place them, but the placement of them feels very off to me. I feel very limited and very cramped in those areas, and they just look kind of wonky to me. So I typically just try to avoid the beaches. However, for this area in particular, I did have an idea. I was running around my island trying to get all of those different cherry blossom petals, and I saw all of the plaza items I had lying on the left-hand side of my island that I used to try to get to 3 stars. And it came to mind that I could do like a carnival on the beach. Yet another thing that I've never done before. I don't know if I'll end up doing it, but that is a thought. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of that. Do you think a carnival would be cool here? Would it work? Because I have no idea. That's the only thing I can think of that I could do on the beaches. because other than that, I'll probably just end up placing coconuts and call it a day, because what else are we supposed to do with our beaches, in all honesty? I've never been one to do much with beaches. I've seen some amazing builds from other people with beaches. I've never been able to do it, and it makes me kind of sad because I think the beaches are kind of cool. But yes, I also love being able to use like the bunny topiary, I think that's what it's called. The little bunny rabbit that's carved out of the grass or the hedge. Oh my gosh, I don't even know what these things are called. They're so cute though. Being able to use those, have a little pop of green, it's just really nice, especially with the pink cherry blossom branches. It just adds a little bit of contrast, which is what I was trying to do. The path I have, as much as I love it, when I look at this recording, it's coming back as very white, whereas on my screen when I'm recording or when I'm playing the game, it's a little bit more pink. It's supposed to be a very pastel pink color, if that makes sense. So seeing it here, it's very bright, it's very white, and it's almost washing out everything else. So I'm really happy that I was able to add like the topiary and the balloons just to have like that pop of color, because at the beginning it's just blinding almost, and it was very intimidating. I had originally attempted to record the terraforming of this area and me placing down all the paths, that way if anyone did want to try to recreate the area or take inspiration from it, they can kind of see what I did. However, that unfortunately also got corrupted, but I didn't stream it, so I had no way of recovering any footage from it. Not sure why all of my recordings have corrupted. That's now 2 in a row. My suspicion is that it's either a storage issue or I'm just putting on recordings for too long. But either way, I'm very lucky that this one actually worked. But as I was terraforming this area to start the build, which I did off stream and attempted to make a video and failed, it was extremely intimidating. I realized how big of an area I'd actually made this, and when I placed down the path, it just made it that much worse. Like, I love the path, I love the area, but seeing such a big area that is flat, no terraforming, no cliffs, no waterfalls, it scares me. I'm not used to that. I'm used to working with very small places where I could do like a little picnic or a reading nook under a tree or something. So it can be quite intimidating, but also interesting at the same time. I don't know. Once again, I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot, but then again, it is currently 10 p.m. at night as I record and voice this over. So I probably am. I'm totally going to watch back this video and think, oh my goodness, what on earth am I doing? I should stop voicing this over right now and wait till morning to do it. But I also know I will not have any other time this week to do it other than right now, so please bear with me as we slowly get towards the end of the finished build. Can I also just say that this Bunny Day planter is probably one of my favorite things. I love my wood partitions, but oh my gosh, the planter is so cute. I just wish that they had smaller borders? No, border's not the right word. Like that little space between objects that you can't quite push them to be like closer together. I'm going to go with border. I still don't know what else to call it, but yeah. As you can see, I did already start placing some random plaza items on my bench because I thought, you know what, maybe seeing them all the time will inspire me to build it, but that will be a build for a future day. But as you can see, this is the end of the video. I have all of the seats in place. It's very crowded, it's very cozy and condensed, but also very pink and pastel-y, and I really like how this video turned out, or well, the build. I have no idea how the video turned out because I'm still editing this as we talk, but I appreciate each and every single one of you for sticking with me through all of this. If you like the build, hit that like button and let me down below what you thought of it and what you would like to see on my beaches. With that being said, I shall see you all in the next video. Bye!